What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Comically Boston. I'm your host, Big Cam, and today we're talking about the weekly nerdy news and everything that happened over the last week. And it was a big one because the 2025 Upfront week was over the last week, and we got all of these movie posters and TV show updates and all the things we should be most anticipating and looking forward to coming out later this year. And also, towards the very end of this video, we'll be talking some Marvel news, and Robert Downey Jr. can't help himself, and he keeps just teasing Avengers Doomsday, just little bits at a time, and possible confirmations, but also possible speculations about his character and maybe possible other characters he could be playing in this movie. So we'll talk kind of a short theory time at the end of this video, but let's jump right on into it, shall we? Because this is a big old chunky week of news and there's a lot to talk about. And coming out later this week, we have Mission Impossible Final Reckoning, and this could be the final Mission Impossible movie, which would be what? Mission Impossible 8? 9? 8? Either way, Tommy Cruise doing crazy stunts, and the movie's getting well reviewed. Some people are saying the first 2 acts are just terrible and long and drag on for the first 2 hours, but the last 49 minutes, last 50 minutes are insanity. So, like, I still gotta see it. I did quite like the last one, Dead Reckoning Part 1, even though it's now just Dead Reckoning and there's now Final Reckoning. But its Rotten Tomato score sitting at 88% with 74 reviews, so that's not terrible. But that comes out this Friday, May 23rd, and it's PG-13, but it's 2 hours and 49-minute runtime, so geez, that's going to be a chunky one to sit through in the theaters. I'm going to have to go to the bathroom or just really not get a drink and just be holding it, you know what I mean? But moving on to the Upfront posters and news that we got, and we're going to kind of go through a whole bunch of them here. But the first poster that got released was for the Karate Kids Legends, with Jackie Chan and Ralph Macchio coming back, and this new kid that is going to be the new Karate Kid. And I think, oh, and his name's Ben Wong. It's kind of great that they're, like, if they're doing another one, they're doing it the correct way, you know, paying homage to the guy that's now been doing this Cobra Kai show and the original Karate Kid. And then Jackie Chan made my age demographic people really love Karate Kid again with Will Smith's son. Now, I don't think Jaden Smith's going to be in this at all, but people didn't really love him from that movie. They loved Jackie Chan as Mr. Miyagi, you know what I mean? So bringing both of the past Karate Kid, the new Mr. Miyagi, to teach this new kid the old Mr. Miyagi way, you know what I mean? Like, I think that's going to be interesting. Comment below if you're a Karate Kid fan, and I haven't done that franchise on the channel yet for my movie reviews, so should I go back and do a rewatch of that? But on the channel, there is currently a movie review for Bob Odenkirk's Nobody, and they just announced that Nobody 2 will be coming to theaters August 15th, and Nobody ruins his vacation. So it seems like he's maybe on vacation with his family, and some stuff goes down, and he's gotta fight back. I don't know, but I really loved him in Nobody 1, and that movie's, you know, criminally underwatched, you know what I mean? And anybody that I've seen go and find that on their own time and then call, you know, text me back later, whoa. But anybody I've seen, Jesus, it's a real sunny day outside right now, clouds going back and forth over the window. Whoa, you see it going light and dark? Bear with me, people. But Bob Odenkirk really crushed it in this Nobody movie, and I'm glad that he's getting a sequel, but watching this movie, you know, it really gave me the mindset, like, yeah, Bob Odenkirk's a badass. He can do whatever he wants. But another movie that people are really excited for, and I haven't watched this franchise really at all, the Quiet Place franchise, but this is like 28 years later, I think? Or no, maybe this isn't Quiet Place. Maybe this is like that day one. No, I mean, I think it is The Quiet Place, no? Either way, I think this is now like a sequel, or yeah, like a many years later sequel, because I think there was like day one, and then 28 days later, and then 28 months later. This is 28 years later, I think. From director Alex Garland and Danny Boyle, Jodie Comer, Aaron Taylor Johnson, Ralph Fiennes. I heard the trailer for that was really good. The poster looks interesting for sure. The movie I'm more anticipating is The Wicked for Good, the Wicked sequel, coming out November 21st, and this is the first poster released for that, with Elphaba on the left and Ariana Grande on the right, and the Wicked Witch of the West and the Good Witch of the East, and yeah, and then it looks like the Yellow Brick Road in the background. So I don't know. I have a feeling that the Wizard of Oz characters play a bigger part in the second movie, and I'm going to be fascinated to see that. I know the first one was pretty damn good, so I was interested. I was in. There's also a new movie that just got announced recently, and it says, "This marriage ain't big enough for the both of them." And it comes to theaters August 29th, and it's called The Roses, and it's starring Benedict Cumberbatch and Olivia Colman. And I really love Olivia Colman, and Benedict Cumberbatch is a great actor too, so the two of them together, I think, is going to be really, really funny. And it says the writer of Poor Things, so maybe going to be weird, going to be interesting, who knows. Also from the director of Meet the Parents, which I think is what, Meet the Fockers type of thing. So maybe this is going to be really, really funny, but also have like some weird, interesting takes. Like, I don't know, but the two of them leading a movie where they're like a married couple, and it looks like they're tied to chairs, so maybe they're like spies or something. I think that would be really interesting. Also coming out very soon, Ballerina, coming out June 6th, so that's right around the corner damn near. And Ana de Armas is starring as the ballerina herself, and John Wick will return in from the world of John Wick, and we see this Dolby Cinema poster with her holding a flamethrower. We also see this next poster from Regal, and John Wick's on the cover. Is he? I guess in the background. But you see Ana de Armas, Angelica Houston, Gabriel Byrne, Lance Reddick, Norman Reedus, Ian McShane, and Keanu Reeves. So, interesting that Keanu will play a part of this. I'm not sure how big, but I'm guessing he's got to come give this movie his blessing type of thing. Like, hey, we are in the world of John Wick. You can go off and do another spin-off movie if people like it type of thing. But I'm sure people will love to see Ana de Armas as a badass assassin killing people type of thing. Probably going to be dope. There's also this Fandango poster with like this glass door with like a red ring around it, and I wonder if this is like a Continental Hotel somewhere that she's going. That just looks really cool. And I love the Continental Hotel and the Roosteroma and like all the things that John Wick expands its world with, you know what I mean? And then there's this AMC Theaters poster with Ana de Armas in this blue light, and she's got a big old gun and a pistol, and she looks good. I think that movie's going to be insane. Also announced over the last week, HBO Max is going back to HBO Max, and it went from HBO Max just to Max, and then it went to Max Plus, and then it went back to Max, and now it's at HBO Max. I don't know. They don't know what they're doing, but they're clearly realizing that HBO is definitely the biggest part of their platform that's keeping people subscribed to the channel. Most people aren't there for your movies that come out once a month. You know, like they don't add stuff all the time. They're adding stuff like once a month, and most of the time it's not even something new, so people are like, yeah, I don't need to have this as a channel. And the only reason they subscribe back to Max is because they want to watch The Last of Us or The House of the Dragon or something that's coming out all the time. Now me, I'm a little bit insane. I'll watch movies and whatever these streaming things have, but in all fairness, my sister pays for those, so like I get away with it, you know what I mean? Like if I was paying for all of these platforms, I'd probably be mad too. But what I ain't mad about is a new animated movie coming out, and a new Avatar, The Last Airbender movie that is going to be starring Aang, and I think it's going to be about the events after the Avatar TV show we saw, and seeing a little bit of an older Aang, and seeing Avatar Aang, you know, be the Avatar. You know, not just like training to become it, you know what I mean, like being the guy. But the first logo for the animated Avatar The Last Airbender, The Legend of Aang, and this will star Eric Nam, Dave Bautista. What? Who is Dave Bautista voicing in the Avatar world? I heard this and I was fascinated. And also Steven Yeun. So, what? Dave Bautista better be playing like the Boulder or something, I don't know. But Steven Yeun, that's crazy. And this is coming October 9th, 2026. So next year, a new Avatar live action movie that hopefully is not like M. Night Shyamalan. Now, it's very crazy, and if you don't know Tom Segura, then this show is probably not for you. But if you do know Tom Segura, his new show Bad Thoughts just came out on Netflix over the last week, May 13th, and it's a comedy series, and it's like 6 episodes, but they're short, they're like 20 minutes a piece, and they're all kind of different. There's a couple that are like continuing stories, but you know, one of them he's like an assassin, one of them he's spoofing Garth Brooks, one of them he's making fun of virtual reality, one of them he's like making fun of these tech gurus and how, you know, people spend their money when they got way too much of it. And then this other guy that's like Spanish, and you know, like it's just like funny and awesome to see Tom Segura doing these different bits and roles and writing these skets, and if you know Tom, it is crazy and weird and gross and, you know, terrible, but also hilarious in a very dark way. And, you know, if you're into it, go check it out. But that is one of the weirdest and funniest shows I've seen over the last couple months. And that came out and I was like, oh my god, Netflix really let this come out and greenlit a second season? Like, whew, this one, like, I have a feeling random people are going to stumble across that Bad Thoughts and really scar some people. But recently on Apple TV Plus, there is a new show coming out called Murderbot with Alexander Skarsgård. And Murderbot Season 1 has a 100% Rotten Tomatoes critic score with 17 reviews. So that's pretty insane for a show that premieres May 16th on Friday. So it just premiered over the last weekend. And I'd be curious to see what audience is thinking about this. But another new Apple TV Plus show. I've been watching more so the Studio with Seth Rogen and a bunch of other people in that show that are just, it's really meta and funny but dumb, but also a type of show that like you don't need to pay too much attention to, because like you kind of get what's going on. Like you can put your head down for a minute and not be like, oh, I missed something, I gotta go back. You know what I mean? Like, I like a dumb show like that where I can just watch it and enjoy it and not have to think too much about it, think about what's going on behind the scenes. You know, the dialogue's not so overly smart that you have to like, you know, figure out what's going on. Like, you could get what's going on with that show very easily. And my mother hated it because she's not a big Seth Rogen person, but I think it's hilarious. But another new show coming to Netflix very soon, May 22nd, so very, like, coming this week, with Megan Fahey, Millie Alcock, and Julianne Moore. So 3 pretty heavy-hitting women in this show called Sirens, in a new series coming to Netflix. Interesting. Women, ladies. Are we going to check that out? Millie Alcock, who is going to be the new Supergirl for the DCU, and Julianne Moore, who is a legend in her own right. And Megan Fahey, I just saw recently on a talk show, I don't know whether it was Fallon or Kimmel, but she really made me laugh. So she's got a great personality, and I don't know what she was just in that, like, she was on the talk show for. Maybe it was promoting this, but this looks, just from this cover, it looks interesting. I'm curious to see what these women are up to. Maybe it's kind of like a White Lotus type of thing. Another TV show that just got confirmed for its 2nd season coming December 2025, and that is Percy Jackson and the Olympians' 2nd season. The quest continues, and I believe this will go into the 2nd book, which is what? Sea of Monsters. So this is like more of the water monster, him finding out who his father really is and why he's got these Poseidon powers, you know what I mean? Spoilers for Percy Jackson. Actually, 1st season we might have found out that his dad was Poseidon. And if not, you maybe saw the old movies or maybe you read the books. So don't yell at me for spoilers. Screw you. Another show that I am very, very, very much so waiting for is The Bear Season 4, and that comes July 25th. So, actually June 25th. 6/25, so June 25th, right around the corner. And Hulu's going to drop this show all at once, binge drop, and I kind of hate that, but the way the show goes, I'm kind of like, yeah, the episode ends and you're like, yep, I gotta know what happens next. And I like this show because some of the episodes are 30 minutes long, some of them are 20, some of them are 40, and then all of a sudden you'll stumble across an almost 2-hour episode and you're like, hour and 30, what the hell? Like, but then that episode is insane, like the 7 fishes, you know, like, and the cast is so incredible, and I really like this show. The Bear on Hulu is one of the best shows out right now. But also a show that I'm dying to see more of a trailer from and know what it's really about, coming in August 12th to FX and Hulu, is Alien Earth. And this is set 2 years before the Alien original movie. So maybe we're going to discover why we're not on Earth in any of these movies. You know what I mean? Like the Alien franchise, we're not on Earth ever. Ever. We're on Earth a couple of times for the Predator franchise. I don't think we're ever on Earth for the Alien franchise because they had to take off because of these aliens, right? Like maybe these aliens are infesting Earth or something. I don't know. But I am very interested to see a trailer in that show because apparently the showrunner or writer for that show is a really good TV writer. So I'm curious to see that and see how people are affected by it and how they like it. But we do have a confirmation of Fallout Season 2 has wrapped, and Amazon Prime has confirmed that they have greenlit Season 3 of Fallout. And you do see Ella Purnell sitting on a Nuka-Cola thing here, and it's a blast, and she's ready for Fallout Season 2 all over again. And we do have a little bit of a teaser for Fallout here, teasing that they will probably be going to Vegas for this next season. Ooh, so that little teaser confirms that they will be going to Fallout New Vegas, which I believe is a game that some Fallout fans didn't love, but I feel like they'll be able to do a really interesting season of show in this Vegas, like, you know, ghouls and zombies and stuff running around. And we also saw that Walton Goggins, the ghoul, will be there, and they also have a dog, so they kind of have dog meat with them for the Fallout fans that know dog meat. Very interesting. And there was a longer teaser trailer released too, if we want to check that out, where we see more of Walton Goggins walking on like a set and doing like a Nuka-Cola ad. But I don't think we need to show that one because I don't think it has too much to do with the next season. Maybe it will just be showing more of like a background for his character. I think it's really more so just like a fake infomercial thing. We might not even see it in the show, but it's you know, him teasing what he looked like before he was covered in makeup as the ghoul, and you know, doing an advertisement for Nuka-Cola and for New Vegas, it looks like, before the world got bombed and went to shit. But yeah, Fallout Season 2 coming in December, and Season 3 confirmed. So if you're a Fallout fan, you like Season 1, here's some good news for you. Now, some good and bad news is coming from some Marvel news, and we are still confirmed that the 1943 Rise of Hydra, Captain America, and Black Panther video game, which did, you know, we saw some teasers a couple of years ago that looked really, really good, and I just loved the way that Cap and Black Panther both looked, you know, and fighting each other, and oh god, and set back in the past. This is going to be a very interesting game. But the team behind it have announced that we have an important update. Marvel 1943 Rise of Hydra will now be launching early 2026. It was supposed to come out later this year, and now it's been delayed. And they say taking additional time will allow us to add more polish and make sure we give you the best possible experience and one that lives up to our vision. We have some exciting things in store and look forward to sharing more soon. The Marvel 1943 team. So delayed till 2026, but it looks like they're going to be really polishing this game and making it look awesome. I'm more looking forward to like an Iron Man game that got announced a decade ago. There's apparently another solo Black Panther game. Blade coming out 2027 or something like that. And then there's also a Wolverine game that I'm dying to feast my eyes on and see a trailer for, you know, something. And then there's also that Spider-Man Insomniac series of games with the Miles game, the first game, Spider-Man 2, and then they're coming out with a Spider-Man 3. So I'm fascinated to see where that story's taking them and where they'll go with that. But comment below, which Marvel game is your favorite game? Coming soon to Disney Plus, finally, after more than 100 days since Valentine's Day when this came out in theaters, Captain America Brave New World will be coming to Disney Plus May 28th. So anybody that has been holding out and being patient and didn't want to spend the money to rent it or go to the theaters, you will now be able to watch it at home on your Disney Plus May 28th, coming 10 days from when I'm recording this, so a little bit over a week. We also had a brief little image of, I don't know if this is Spider-Gwen or some other type of Spider-Girl, but we see Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man image from your season 2 of Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, which, if I had to guess, will probably be coming early next year or even the year after, depending on how far along they are in it. But I have a feeling they were working on that sooner, you know what I mean? Like when season 1 came out, I have a feeling that they had already greenlit seasons 2 and 3 of that, and they were already working on them and voice acting and you know, drawing, and so I feel like that shows further along than we might think. Kind of also like X-Men 97, we still haven't gotten season 2 for that, so I would be not surprised if X-Men 97 and Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man are the 2 animated shows that come out next year. But Amazon Prime just dropped a poster recently for their Spider-Man Noir, Nicolas Cage returning as Spider-Man Noir and playing this role in live action. And rumor has it that they'll have a colored version and a black and white version for the people that don't want to watch a black and white show in 2025. I understand, but like, you know, Spider-Man Noir being a noir show coming out in 2025, like I think you have to watch it in the black and white. And also, like, you know, just the fact that it's the same exact character from the animated series, or the animated, like, Into the Spider-Verse movies, in live action, like, that's just so awesome. They nailed the look, and just the fact that Nicolas Cage is goddamn Spider-Man is insane, but they also released this little 30-second teaser, so let's take a look at it.
City's a mess. The people could use a hero.
Alright, so Spider-Man Noir won't be coming until 2026, but that little shot of the lights turning on in his eyes when he's standing behind somebody, that was a good shot. I liked that quite a bit. I was like, oh shit, look at this. But Nicolas Cage as Spider-Man Noir, and I think this might be a rumor but also possible truth, so take it with a grain of salt if you don't want to get this spoiler too early. But I believe Brendan Gleeson is playing Wilson Fisk Kingpin in that show, and we saw a brief shot of him from behind with the cane and that. So I don't know, I feel like that show's going to be dark and mysterious, but also really good, and I don't think they're going to, you know, kid it up too much. You know, I think they're going to lean into the darkness and maybe even be TVMA, depending on how violent they want to go, but I think Nicolas Cage would be game. Also, at the Disney Upfront panel, we did get some confirmations for Daredevil Season 2, and Krysten Ritter is returning as Jessica Jones for Daredevil Season 2. And she took the stage with Charlie Cox, and she said it's so great to be back returning to Jessica after 3 seasons and The Defenders, and now joining the MCU. So I do need to go finish Jessica Jones 3 seasons. I had gotten through 1 season, and it's a really good show. I've been meaning to go back to it, but then Daredevil Born Again came out, and now The Last of Us, and then Andor, you know, so I've been watching a lot of TV shows, and I'm more of a movie guy anyways, so like, I've been itching to watch more movies, but there's been so many shows out, and I gotta catch up on stuff. It's a lot of stuff, but very excited Krysten Ritter's back. But she also said, I'm so excited to bring back this iconic character, and without giving too much away, there is much more in store for Jessica Jones. This is going to be an incredible season. So we now have Jessica Jones back, and she also confirmed her like outfit, and she said there she is with a little devil emoji on her Instagram, and she has her wardrobe with her leather jacket and her classic Jessica Jones look, and I really did love just the swagger of Krysten Ritter's Jessica Jones. I mean, out of the Defenders, it was Daredevil and Jessica Jones that I liked the most, and then closely behind them is Luke Cage, and then very far behind the 3 of them is Iron Fist. They could have done some more with Danny Rand, but we now have 2 of the 4 Defenders, so maybe we will be getting the Defenders fighting against New York in Season 2 of Daredevil Born Again. Very interesting. We also know John Bernthal's around. We also know Karen Page will be back around. And Foggy isn't dead. I promise you, he's not dead. And if he is dead, I'm very sad. We also got a confirmation about the Wonder Man series that will be coming to Disney Plus in December. And it will have 8 episodes and approximately 30 minutes each. And that does have Yahya Abdul-Mateen, I believe is his name, starring as Wonder Man, and Ben Kingsley, I think is his name, also starring alongside him in that role, reprising his role as Trevor Slattery from Iron Man 3 and Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. So I'm very fascinated to see that show, and maybe it will have some Christmas vibes coming out in December, so I will be very happy if it does. But now on to the final portion of this video and the speculation about Tony Stark's Iron Man. This shot that Robert Downey Jr. released is very interesting. First off, his trailer door that he's sitting right outside of says, "Do not knock, trust yourself," and it's like kind of like an Uncle Sam poster of doom pointing at them. And then RDJ has black pants on and this giant, well, not giant, but he's got this like mesh muscle suit and padded shoulders and padded arms. So clearly Robert Downey Jr. in his older age is not going the approach of the Chris Hemsworth, get into crazy shape and get the arms huge. He's just going to let the muscle suit do the work. But why would you need a muscle suit like this underneath like a cloaked, robed Doctor Doom? So maybe this is a different character. Now he's also reading Jeremy Renner's Last Breath, My Next Breath book that he just came out with. So maybe this is teasing Jeremy Renner and why he's not on set, or maybe this is teasing that he is going to be on set. Or maybe it's just Robert Downey Jr. putting a little shout out Easter egg for his friend. But more importantly, behind the muscle suit, and the point I made about why would a cloaked figure have to be wearing this muscle suit, maybe it's not for that, and maybe it's also for, you see the little dots on his forehead, those are like motion tracking dots, so maybe this muscle suit isn't for Doctor Doom. And some people were saying that the motion tracking got them, upset because maybe Doctor Doom's mask will be like nanotech and it will like kind of form around his face, kind of like the later Iron Man suits. And I don't think that's what people want at all. I think people want the practical Doctor Doom face and armor and stuff. And I think that's fairly easy enough to do where they don't have to do it in CGI, but maybe the CGI will give them creative liberties that they don't have once they're fixed into the prosthetic, you know what I mean? So maybe that's the route they're going. But my idea was immediately that it's either de-aging, so we're seeing a scene where he's a younger Doctor Doom, or maybe even he's a younger Tony Stark, kind of like we saw in, Civil War with the barf technology, where we saw a younger de-aged Tony Stark talking to his mom and dad for the last time. So maybe this is a de-aged Doctor Doom, or maybe this is de-aged Tony Stark, and we'll also be seeing, because why does he have a muscle suit on and the facial tracking dots? Maybe he's playing not only Doctor Doom, but maybe he's playing like a superior Iron Man, and like the really, really douchey version of the Iron Man that's normally in the comics on the Illuminati, but he wasn't in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, and people really wanted that character to show up. So maybe he's playing not only Doctor Doom, but he's playing a Tony Stark variant as well. And someone else made a point that, that would make sense why they would give him $100 million for 2 movies if he's not just playing one character, and if he's going to be heavily involved in the marketing of this film, right? Like, I think for $200 million, I think he would do these movies for free. I think they're paying him to do the press tours, what the most of that money is for. And if you guys are like, oh, that's so stupid, have you guys seen some of these press tours that these actors go on? They start early in the day, and they're in this room as people just get cycled in over and over and over and over again, and ask them the same question over and over and over and over again, and they gotta answer like they're not annoyed and pissed off and tired, and they gotta, smile and act like they're happy to be there even though they're tired and and some actors really good at it and can put on the smile and really, hey, this is a great time, I love being here, thanks for interviewing us, and some people are just like, you can tell, they're like, have a good one, And some of them, like the interviews in the early part of the day, are really fun, so they're enjoying it. But you can tell which ones are the later and later in the day interviews, because you can see their posture just gets lower and lower, and their just energy gets lower and lower, and their enthusiasm just gets lower and lower, and they're just, oh god, how many more of these? You know, like, so I doubt he wants to do that type of stuff. So that's could be a two-rolled Robert Downey Jr. and why he's getting paid so well. But comment below your thoughts on Avengers Doomsday and Robert Downey Jr. posting these cryptic little things. Do you want Jeremy Renner to be in Avengers Doomsday? I know I do. I gotta see him back as Hawkeye. And not only that, I need to see him in Hawkeye Season 2 as well. And just one of my favorite Disney Plus shows. And that better be coming out, if there is a Hawkeye Season 2, that better be coming out over Christmas again, having that great Christmas soundtrack and Christmas vibes, and just what a wonderful show that was. And that was way back in, what, 21? So we're very far out from that show now, and I gotta see it again. I gotta see more. But also, the next Disney Plus show coming out soon in June, and just had a trailer come out recently, and I broke down that trailer on the channel for Ironheart, and this little poster here of the Ironheart logo and Riri in the suit. Oh god, it's a good looking poster here, and I cannot wait for June 24th to start breaking down that show. And I believe that show's going to premiere with 3 episodes and then drop week by week the final 3 episodes, so we'll have like a month total of Ironheart, probably from June 24th to July 24th, which then will take us right into Fantastic Four talk, you know what I mean? So maybe those shows connect, probably not though, but they definitely want to get that show out, I'm guessing, before Avengers Doomsday, because I wouldn't be surprised if Ironheart makes an appearance in Avengers Doomsday as well. I mean, how can she not? You know, between her, Kate Bishop, Cassie Lang, Miss Marvel, you know, like there's Yelena, like there's people that just need to be there, you know, and I think they're a good group of them that need to be. But that's it for today. My name's Big Cam. What topic or show or movie did we talk about today that you're most anticipating up in 2025 and into 2026? What was your favorite topic we talked about today? If I missed anything from the last week, comment below. Anything that you want to talk about that I didn't get to in this video, and maybe we'll get to next week, or maybe me and you can just have a chat about it. And if you'd like to chat more, the link's down in the descriptions below for my other social medias. And if you'd like to support the channel and you've made it this far, the best way to do that is liking this video, commenting down below, subscribing if you're new, hitting that bell so you don't miss future Comically Boston Weekly Nerdy News episodes every Monday. So stay tuned, y'all. Once again, my name's Big Cam. Thank you guys so much, and I will see you beautiful people in the next one. Peace.